6th grade. Welcome to my home. It's Mrs. Franz here. Today I'm going to read you a story from our interactive read-alouds. The story we're going to read today is called Piano Starts Here, The Young Art Tatum by Robert Andrew Parker. This is a biography story about Art Tatum, and the title is The Piano Starts Here. What do you think that might mean? Okay, we're going to come back to this question later at the end of the book. Okay, here we go. The piano starts here. This is the house in Toledo where I was born. This is my father. He is a mechanic. This is my mother. She often sings in the church down the street, but she isn't singing here. She has too much cleaning to do. This is the living room. That's the piano. Every day, every once in a while, my brother plays it, but otherwise it sits quietly in the corner. One day I can reach the keyboard on tiptoe. I play with one finger, then two fingers, then my fists and hands. My mother says, "That sounds nice, do that again." And I do until she says, "Enough now. Why don't you go play while it's still light outside?" But because of my bad eyes, day and night, dark and light, don't really matter to me. Not the way sounds and smells do, piano notes, streetcar bells, even bread baking in the oven. As I get older, my eyesight gets worse. An operation helps, but just a little. Still, bad eyes can't keep me from playing the piano. My hands get to know the keys, the short black ones on top of the long white ones below. I play more and more and more. When my father leaves in the morning now, he gives me a quick hug and says, "Don't wear out that piano today." In the evening, when my mother calls me to supper, I say, "I'll be right back. Piano, don't go away." Just after my 10th birthday, Reverend Johnson asked me to play in church. I love our church, the way it smells like soap, furniture polish and flowers, the way footsteps echo off the walls. Still, I feel nervous, but when I touch the keys, all my fear vanishes. My foot taps the rhythm and my toes fill the space between the music of everyone's voices. Afterward, Martha Chemples asked me to play at the annual YMCA bake sale. Mrs. Bradford asks if I can play at Mr. Bradford's 70th birthday party. My mother says he can't be out late, but she squeezes my shoulder, and I know she is pleased. So now here's our first question that you'll think about and answer later in your Google template. Notice what Art loves about his church. Why do these details catch his attention? What can you infer about his personality? On summer evenings, when it is too hot to even turn on the lights, my parents sit on the porch swing with my little brother and sister. The neighborhood children run around catching lightning bugs in mayonnaise jars. As their jars go brighter, they hear my music pouring out our window. I play Moonlight Bay and Shine on Harvest Moon, all the moon songs I can think of. My, isn't he something, my mother says into the night. Denise and Janet, twin sisters who live next door, walk me to school every day now. They make sure I don't get lost or step in front of a streetcar. In class, Denise sits next to me and helps me. And on assembly days, the principal, Mrs. Hendricks, asks me to play. My father never says much about my music, but I know he's listening. Sometimes he even dances, though he hardly moves. I can feel his big feet shake the floor. His rhythm matches mine, and I imagine I'm playing with a bass player, tapping his feet and slapping his fingers. When I start Memphis Blues, my father pulls my mother from the kitchen, throws her apron on a chair, and swings her across the floor until she laughs in spite of herself. After school, I spent a lot of time at the Pick-a-Rib Cafe around the corner. Mr. Bartlett, the owner, is a friend of my father's, and he lets me use his player piano. I like to wind up the handle and hear the keys move by themselves. Then I play. Sometimes Mr. Bartlett comes out of the kitchen and says, "Arthur, was that you or the piano?" And other times he says, "Well, I know that was you. The player piano isn't that fast." One night, my father and his friend Eddie take me to a bar nearby. My father finds me a chair and whispers, "Play Tiger Rag," just like you heard it on the radio, only faster. And because it is so noisy and smoky and crowded, I'm not nervous. As soon as my notes fill the air, the whole place grows still. Everyone at the bar stops drinking. People at tables stop eating. Waitresses stop serving. When I play a song I heard on the radio, an old man starts to clap along. Couples start dancing. They buy drinks for my father and Eddie and a ginger ale for me, stuffing coins in my pockets till I'm sure the money will spill onto the floor. I play all the tunes I know. The bartender, whistling a few bars of a song, asks, "Do you know that one?" I put my hands on the keyboard and say, "You mean this one?" and play some more. When I begin humoresque, the room becomes quiet. I imagine I am in a boat on a lake, the moon shining through the trees, and I feel sad. I wonder, does music float up through the ceiling and through the roof and then up through the sky? Do the sounds keep going until they reach the stars? We get home very late and don't wake my mother. In the morning I go to school and my father goes to work as if nothing has changed. That afternoon, I take my coins and buy my mother a round gold music box. When I lift the lid, a tiny tinkle comes out that sounds like a mouse playing, whispering. I buy my father a baseball mitt to put in his lunch pail so he can play catch during his break at the factory. Now another question. Let's talk about how Art spends his money. What does it tell you about him? Almost every night, my father and Eddie walk me to local bars or we ride the streetcar to ones far away. Sometimes my name is on a sign outside and people come just to hear me. Now when I play, my fingers do everything I want them to. I can make them whistle. I can make them sing. I can play one song and then weave another song in and out and through it. I often hide a song inside another and another. After you've gone inside, pour a butterfly, and almost always a few bars of humoresque inside them both. One day, Mr. Storer asked me to play at his radio station 5 days a week for more money than I have ever imagined. Once people start hearing me on the radio, I'm asked to play all over the country. My music takes me farther and farther from home. When I'm at the piano, I close my eyes. I play clouds of notes, rivers of notes, notes that sound like skylarks singing and leaves rustling like rain on a rooftop. I forget that my eyes aren't good. I have everything I need. Band leaders call me. I tour with musicians through Ohio to Chicago, Kansas City, and even New York City. I play with Adelaide Hall, Slam Stewart, and Tiny Grimes. I become famous. I'm going to reread this first paragraph. Let's discuss Art's feelings. I wonder if we can pick out ways he uses nature to describe his feelings. And this is what he wrote. When I am at the piano, I close my eyes. I play clouds of notes, rivers of notes, notes that sound like skylarks singing and leaves rustling like a rain on a rooftop. I forget that my eyes aren't good. I have everything I need. Did you find those nature references? But still, Late at night, people sway around me and my foot is tapping. I think of our house in Toledo, of my mother and father and sister and brother. I think of Reverend Johnson, Eddie, and the twins. No matter where I am, where the room fills with music, I remember all the people who helped me, the people I love. The end. That is Art Tatum. The piano starts here. I wonder why they called it The Piano Starts Here. Thanks for listening.